Coach, as we go into conference play, what do you like the most about your team, and what part of the team you feel needs a little more improvement?
Yeah, I like our depth. I like the rotations that we've been playing. I think that has really helped us. I think some guys, starters have been playing well, but I think the guys off the bench have given us some great minutes and some game-changing minutes. And I think that's something that has really helped us in the past. But I think it's a great strength of ours this year. Turnovers. I think we've improved a lot, but that's the most important thing is the offensive flow to the game has a lot to do with if we're turning the ball over, if not. So our offense has improved and has become more efficient, but a lot of it is because we've not turned the ball over as much. That's the key.
How much has the non-conference schedule better prepare you for A-10 play? Because you've seen a lot of different styles.
Yeah.
Bounce back from a lot of adversity through the non-conference. How do you think this will help you?
Well, we've played some really good teams, neutral games and on the road. I think the road games exposed us a little bit from our approach and making sure you go on the road and take care of the ball in someone else's arena. We got to make sure we're going on the road here in league play. You got to find ways to win on the road, and our style of play always helps us. The way we play can get us going, but the efficiency on the offensive end, I think, is the key for sure. I think the non-conference, like you said, we've played different styles, so that has allowed us, when we go back and review tape and getting ready for the next practice, working on things that we've seen that we know we'll see again, and I think that just helps. When you play well-coached teams and really good teams, and you play teams that some are bigger, some play a different style, it exposes you in different ways, but I think it's all something you can learn from going into league play.
You've been working through some injuries, obviously, before the break. Was that helpful in that regard, or do you stand kind of entering this one?
I think, look, we were with Ace, we were 9-2. That's we got to keep him there. He's the head of our snake, so that's important to keep him healthy. But B. Johns is battling, some nicks, keeping him healthy because, especially the way how hard he's played, and he's become a scoring threat for us in different ways with his size. So keeping those two guys healthy and everybody healthy. Injuries are what you go through. We just seem like we've had a bunch of them here and there, and taking guys, especially guys that play a lot of minutes, out of the rotation. So the injury part, let's not kill them in practice here. Let's have great, efficient practices, but making sure the most important thing is they're ready to play in the game so we can perform at a high level. That's huge to us here the rest of the year, keeping guys healthy.
It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody feels very optimistic about what this team can be, but also maybe the little frustration they haven't quite totally put it together.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Look, in 13 non-conference games, I think we should be better. Right? We all see signs of it, including the coaching staff, man. But the one thing that I keep going back to is I look at stuff, read all the stats and all that. We have a lot of young guys. We have a lot of inexperienced guys, like it or not. We have a lot of guys that have changed their roles. So when you play a good schedule, that stuff gets exposed, and experience and role changes and so forth. But we're not the only ones going through it. It is what it is. That's part of coaching your team every year. But I think at this point, I thought the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we've gotten better. We've improved, and it showed up in live action. Now we got to take that other step now in league play and be really good with some experience of preparing the right way to go win a league game, which is really hard, and especially being ready to go on the road and win a league game on the road. You got to turn it up. You got to take the next step. I think the biggest thing though is our guys having confidence, knowing, hey, the way we play, no matter who we play against, it could win out all the time. That's the key.
In your coaching experience, are there signs you look for along the way, like, this is happening, these guys are putting it together, whether it be practice games, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it yesterday after a couple of days off, just some of the things the guys say to each other. They're in the know, as I like to say. Now, oh man, he's in the know. He is saying something as simple of the timing of a play, talking on defense, helping a guy through something. That's getting better. So, meaning you're becoming a little more confident now, and you know it. You're starting to share that with some of your teammates. I'm seeing more of that. Usually that occurs with experienced teams. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Our offense has improved when we don't turn the ball over, and we really share that thing. The other night we had, I think, 21 assists on 28, 29 baskets. Got to continue to keep that thing hot. That's important. And our shot selection has improved. That's been a huge focal point here after the first few games. I just think guys, the inexperienced guys, the guys, they're just understanding take a great shot. The ball will still find you when you're open because we have guys that pass the ball.
Is something Jalen has done differently the last couple of games? Because it seemed like he seems more confident in the post and they're going right at him.
Well, I just think it's game minutes, right? Experience, just getting more comfortable. He's a sophomore. His role was different last year, coming off the bench and playing a different amount of minutes. I think he knows he's going to play a lot, and he's contributing in so many different ways. But I think the biggest thing is keeping it simple. He's a really good mover. He can go after the basketball, and when he's around the rim, not try to do too much. And I thought early in the year we had him at different places on the court. It's a little too much for him. We simplified that for him, and he got back to doing what he feels, is instinctive for him. Catching the ball around the basket, making an explosive move, a quick drive, a rip to the basket instead of trying to do too much with the ball, and I think that's given him success, and continue to go after rebounds. Keep rebounding at a high clip. So keeping it simple, playing with a clear mind, and honestly, listen. I told our guys this morning that, we're going to tell you things to help you and the team perform at a higher level. I'm big in, the more you tell somebody, the less importance to the couple things that matter the most, right? So let's keep our coaching with some of these guys simple, and then listen at a higher level, and then follow through with that listening. I think he's one of the guys. He's not the only one, but he's one of the guys that has really took grasp of that, and it's really helped him. And, his numbers are really good, but I just think he's doing a lot of other things on the court that contribute to winning.
With Jaden, because you always say guys are in different roles, and it seems like these first 2 years for him, I won't say he's getting comfortable adjusting being the point and the two, but how much has that benefited him handling both responsibilities when Ace has been there and when he's not been there?
Yeah, well, when he came in, here's a young guy, freshman, we could bring along, and then Ace gets hurt, and hey, young man, you're going to be a starting point guard from day one, and you're going to handle the ball a lot, and you're going to, be a part of, a huge part of the press. That's a lot. I think he handled it well. Then when Ace came back, I think he really found his place alongside Ace. That's been great. Sometimes your sophomore year, I always say this about from your freshman to sophomore year, you have great gains, but your expectations sometimes are not realistic. It was I had a good offseason, I had a good freshman year, so my sophomore year is going to be 10 times better. It never works that way. It never goes the way you plan, but it's going to keep going. And I think he got off to, probably not to his standards or my standards for him, but what I love in the last couple of weeks was just his approach of keeping it simple, playing really hard, finding picking his spots to be really aggressive, and of course at times handling the ball and having those duties. I think he's a mature kid, so I think he responded, not getting off to a great start the right way, not blaming others, not pointing fingers, not being upset to a point where he's not playing well. It's the other way around. Get back to work, stick to what I'm good at, and find my place, pick my spots. And I think he's done that. And you've seen him have, he's had some good games, but I think efficient games. And he's not forcing it. And he's only going to get better and better. The crazy thing about it, he's still a sophomore. You know, he's only been in the school 3 semesters. He's still a sophomore. That's what we got to keep thinking about because there's a lot more growth there.
Coach, did everybody get back safe with all the weather?
Yeah, everybody got back safe. We practiced last night at 6 o'clock. It was a really good practice coming back, and we sweated the turkey and the mac and cheese and the eggnog out of our, including the coaches. So no, we had good practice and we got in, did some work, a little work this morning, fundamental stuff, and we'll practice this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
How much prep does your staff do for the conference teams prior to this week? I know it's all LaSalle this week, but do they have a working knowledge, or is it like, okay, next game, LaSalle, oh, here we are?
No, I mean, the one thing you watch anytime the teams in the league are on TV, you watch those games. So I probably saw LaSalle play on TV 3 times, I think I saw them play. So our staff, I mean, every morning when we get together, we end up talking about who we were watching last night. Certain guys have their scouts of A10, so they've already jumped into that. But we all watch. That's what you do. You watch a ton of games. I've watched multiple games of teams in our league, because you want to know what they do. But if basketball's on, you're going to watch it.
Are they? I feel like there were times this year that we were like 3 or 4 games where we played teams with 7 seniors. Like you look at the whole roster. Is the league like that? I mean, are we going to run it down the league, or is it less?
Well, with the transfer portal, everyone's always going to try to get older.
Right.
So, that's. I think everybody's going to have to deal with that way now. So some teams are just going to try to get as old as they can and stay old. Is a priority for us this past year when we got B. Johns and David Shriver to get older. So you're going to see that a lot, yeah, without a doubt. But you're also going to see some of those guys leave too because they can't. So it varies. Everyone's going to have a different way about going about it. Some years I think guys will take high school kids, and some years they say, I want to get older and go to the portal because you have those options now.
What stands out about this year's LaSalle team?
Just, well coached. They're still trying to, find themselves, but they've had some really good games this year, and Coach Dunphy's coached a lot of games, so he knows how to move parts around. I think they do that really well, and they play some different types of lineups, so they play some different styles, a different way to play with certain guys out there. So you're just not preparing for one thing. There's multiple things that he does depending who's on the court. You got to be prepared for them, because if you're not, that's how he's going to exploit you. So I think they play really hard. I think they rebound. They get after it. We're gonna have, we got our hands full. It's today, 10. What do you expect? First one in the year, but we're as excited as all the other teams for sure.
Any memorable gifts in the Rhoades household from Christmas?
My son signed with Colgate to play football, so for a parent, that's a great present. Really happy, really proud of him. Got a couple hoodies. I got 2 hoodies. I really did. I got 2 hoodies, and great. I just spending a couple days together. We had some great meals. We had our staff Christmas party at my house. That was fun. We exchanged gifts at, what's that called? The White Elephant. So there was, some of the younger guys on staff had some bold moves.
Really?
So that will be remembered in the future. Yeah. Some young guys, they came into the house and took some presents that people liked. So we'll remember that in the future.
What did Toby do?
Toby stayed here, had some good meals with the staff, and he stayed here. So.
Can you speak on your son committing more in his commitment to Colgate?
Yeah, he had a lot of schools recruiting him, and he went up to camp in Hamilton, New York, Colgate, in the end of July, right after AAU season, and did well and stayed connected with their staff and Coach Stokowski. And it just sort of came out this week that there was an offer on Wednesday, and what I tell people in recruiting: if you love it, don't lose it, because other people feel that way about places, and I think it's a great fit for him, but it's wasn't our decision, it was his decision, and he was really excited Thursday. It's like, Dad, I want to do this. So Friday afternoon, sitting at the kitchen counter, he signed it and called the coach and said he's coming. So it was really cool. He's a worker, just like there's so many kids out there. You just keep working and try to give yourself options. And Logan loves playing football and basketball, but I think he loves being on a team more than anything. He loves that. So he's worked really hard, but he loves football. I mean, he loves basketball too, but he loves football, and there's a different bounce to him on the football field I always saw, and he just was really excited about it. So he's, they recruit him as an athlete, so he is probably going to play multiple positions, which is what he's always done, but he's got to probably gain about 20, 25 pounds, which most college freshman football players do. He's got a lot of work ahead of him, but it's a great school to be a part of, great program. Winning's important there, but doing it the right way is even more important. So as parents, we're just really proud of him. He's excited, and he had a fun year at Godwin with that football team, and he's sharing it with everybody. It's really cool.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. Yep.
Best gift you could have got from him.
What's that?
That's the best gift you could have got this year.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But the one hoodie's really nice.